Because it's a large cohort, and in some of our classes we have different cohorts in the same group, I wanted the students to learn from each other and about each other's future profession. I asked the students to work in groups of 4 and to work on a semester-long case study.
It was week 2, it was really like the first or second week, and we went into class.
And what Roula wanted us to do is basically a short video.
Based on a case study, so running through the prognosis, the diagnosis, treatment, possible outcomes of the disease.
They asked them to create 2, one which would present the patient and their signs and symptoms, and then the second slow motion video would focus on their methods of diagnosis, expected test results, methods of treatment, prognostic features, and to showcase their future profession.
But we can put it in any creative medium we saw fit.
Being able to choose the medium for the video allowed us to be a little bit more creative than usual.
It was very good. It was very innovative, where they actually asked us to do something that we can think out of the box.
It was actually a really comfortable experience because we were able to bring in different learning styles. So some of us who were a little bit more creative rather than better at our rote learning out of textbooks, we're able to use our strengths more to put theory and practice together.
It was really important, I think, for me as well, to see that there are different types of learners.
Personally, I love the IT side of stuff, so I got motivated by being able to just go on the computer and just work at that.
It was really revealing to me in the sense that the students that do really well at everything and excel at everything really thrived with this project. But then there were students who don't do well academically and don't do well with those mid-semester tests, but absolutely thrive with the creative side of this project.
So it was different from looking at a piece of paper saying, okay, they get a stomach ache, but then this way we reenacted a stomach ache. So it just sort of personalises each thing a bit more, and it gave you a different insight, a different view from the patient perspective.
The purpose of this study was to bring out the creative students and let them perform well for a change.
Not only that, there's also the textbook side of it. So say if somebody learns better from reading and stuff like that, they can work on the script while somebody can also, taking that into account, work on the video itself. You can sort of incorporate the different learning styles into one, which worked really well.
It wasn't all just about the video, like we had to do the research beforehand and then put it into a script that had evidence to back it up. It gave everyone something to do.
We do online case study work, which I call problem-solving case studies, and they're actually interrelated with the slow motion videos. So whilst the students that work in groups work on one case study, online they get to work on each other's case study. So they learn about everybody else's patients as well.
At the end of the week, or the presentation period, we could all go online and have a look at each other cohorts' videos as well.
During our digital laboratory sessions, I've assigned demonstrators to the groups.
Faith was actually chaperoning our group, but Roula came around as well and made sure that we were all on track.
So we're specifically talking to each individual group, and they gave feedback every week.
By doing that, it gave us the ability to see where we're meant to be at. So all of a sudden you see different ideas from different people, different courses. So you kind of see where you're at in relation to other groups, which worked well.
The other thing was to make sure that I gave them the opportunity to learn from the first one, the first slow motion video, so they could then improve on the second one.
Yeah, so halfway through we stopped our presentations and presented them to the class, and when we saw what other students had done, we were so surprised.
So they get to see the other people's work.
Rather than taking it as a negative thing, it more like pedalled us towards putting in a lot more effort.
They were able to learn from each other, and a lot of the groups improved with the second one, which was due in week 12.
Yeah, so in our next presentation, because of that, we went off and worked with Play-Doh.
Something that we wouldn't have done otherwise.
Yeah,
It was
that
very
was-
inspiring to go
yeah.
to the mid-semester showing of everyone else's assignments.
Yeah.
I wanted to foster and to promote interprofessional learning. So I wanted the students to learn from each other and about each other's future profession.
This project, it demonstrated the depth of information that she wants us to know and that she wants us to be able to apply it.
Doing the online quizzes each week gives you a broad sort of range of different diagnoses and stuff that we'll walk into our clinics and we're going to have to be able to recognise.
You learn from the other cohorts because all of a sudden you're seeing how they approach something, and then you see the stuff that they're going to do different to us, and you can kind of integrate that into how we're going to practice later on in life.
So with that, it allowed us to have a different insight into what the different medical fields do and how each medical field addresses a different disease.
Because at the end of the day, what we want is to foster that communication and collaboration between the professions so that it improves patient health care. I mean, that's the aim of it. They don't only have a healthy respect for each other, but also for their professions. There were situations where some students that are very high performers who did not enjoy the challenge of the project. We tried to help them see the point of the project, especially via the aspect of the interprofessional learning. Once that came into it, their attitude did change. They felt a little bit more proud to showcase their video when they were showcasing their future profession. The students embraced the project
It's a very fun way to learn.
and were able to explain and communicate aspects of pathology to an audience.
Yeah.
Being the creative people
Definitely.
we are,
Yeah.
we
I think
thought
yeah.
it gave us the time to shine.
Everybody learns a different way. I think it's important for Roula as a teacher to try different methods.
With this assignment, I really learned more than how I usually just read from a book or a paper or any presentation.
The teachers in class were great as well, kept offering us advice. You know, if we weren't sure on something, they'd always be there.
You can approach her with anything. She's accommodating, very friendly, which helps with learning.
I think she just really cares.
All of the knowledge that they presented was accurate, the content was accurate, they showed good teamwork, they showed creativity, and they were all the things that I wanted to see them achieve. So they've all done very well. They've all done very well with distinctions and high distinctions.
We're enjoying what we're doing. I mean, you know, how often do you get to make a Lego video for uni? That's pretty cool.